Hey Gengar Gang, what is going on? My name is Ryan, this is the Analytic Gengar, and welcome to another PSA Graded Return video, number 13. We're getting up there, friends. I believe, according to how I am planning things out right now, we will have another 2 videos. So there will be this video coming out today, and then you should be expecting another 2 videos only. Here's the reason for that. There is a set of cards. So long story short, a couple of months ago, I got back a PSA Graded Return of 363 cards. Now, of that, 309, I believe, were from a lot of Pokemon cards that I purchased way back in January of 2020. As a result of that, I wanted to kind of clearly define the different sets, because this stuff that you're seeing on screen right now, for the most part, will be up for sale. However, there are other cards, the ones later in that PSA Graded Return, that are more so for my personal collection. So as a result, I do want to kind of clearly define that, so you'll be able to tell which ones are up for sale, which ones are my own personal cards, and also because those cards will have a more interesting story than, oh, I bought them, and since there were 300 of them, it kind of stinks to be a stickler about any one of them, which is basically the attitude that I have adopted for this entire 309 card lot. So as a result, I do want to do those videos kind of separately. Obviously, they will still be PSA Graded Returns, but I will honestly probably be taking my time with them, and also probably having a lot more fun telling you all and sharing with you all the stories of how they came to be, and why I'm adding them to the collection. Now, with that said, numbers 241 to 260 is what you'll be seeing today on screen. We have everything from Delta Species, Legend Maker, and Holon Phantoms. So today's video will be a diverse one in terms of sets, but also in terms of Pokemon cards. Last time we ended up with a Tyranitar, and now we're starting back up with a Holo Tyranitar. Hopefully it got a PSA 6, and it got a 7. I remember, like I was literally just saying, some of these cards were rough to grade. If you're a fan of last video, then you know that occasionally I would get the reverse foil too. So I have the reverse foil and the regular foil version of the card. Personally, I prefer this to the other one. And it got a PSA 9. Last time the Metagross got a 10, so I was hoping for a 9-10 with Tyranitar as well, since I love Tyranitar. But no such luck. Speaking of Pokemon that I love, here's an Umbreon. I also had 7 Umbreon EXs. So long story short, what I'm saying is, if you haven't already checked out that video, definitely feel free to do so. Many of the links will be down below in the description, but also make sure to feel free and check out the playlist that is on the channel. I have basically been putting together all of my PSA returns in one large playlist that you can either run through or select from when you'd like. Here's a Vaporeon EX, and I love the way that Holo hits that Pokemon, and it got a mint 9. Of course it wouldn't get a 10, even if the back is super crisp, but what can you do? Now we move into the Delta Species EX cards. Here's a Flareon, and it got a 7. Okay, not bad. And here is a Vaporeon. So fun fact, before anything, I actually took a Vaporeon and I pulled a Vaporeon EX from back in the day. I own it right now. I still own it. It's a PSA 5. The reason it's a 5 and probably not a 9 is because I actually took it and scratched it on purpose in order to try to standardize the set. One of the tips is that if you take a rough card and then you try to get it graded, and then you put other cards that are obviously of better quality in front, or behind that card rather, in theory, they're going to see this card, they're going to grade it a 5. Then when they get to those cards, in theory, the human mind might work in a way where it says, oh wow, these cards are significantly better condition, therefore I will give higher grades. So, you know, sometimes you do end up sacrificing a card in order to kind of just like help, you know, stagger the way PSA grades your cards. And I actually ended up sacrificing my Vaporeon EX from back in the day. So I'm happy I got this one. It got a 6. Okay, so maybe it wasn't even me. Maybe my like sacrificing of that card wasn't even necessary, because I probably just ended up with a bummy card anyway. Also, those cards are so hard to grade. Just look at the amount of hollow foil on these cards. Now, here is a Flygon EX. I know there are several of these, one of which includes a swirl. Don't see it on this card. Look how pretty that card is, though. Here is an 8 of that card. I see the next one. I'm not going to reveal the grade. It got a PSA 5, which is pretty nice. We have a PSA 8. And this is the one with the swirl right behind Flygon's butt. So in case anyone is curious about how Flygon's day is going, it is swirl-tastic. Next up, I believe we have an additional Flygon. Here is a 7. So that is a really nice card as well. I'm happy that the one with the swirl got a 8 at least. That always helps. Here is a Vaporeon Ex 6. Really interesting artwork on this one. We've now crossed in the Legend Maker, obviously. Here's a swirl, fun fact, right there. That is a swirl. And I really like the way this card looks. It's so, like, Arctic. It looks like it belongs in, like, Legend of Korra artwork. It's pretty cool. Here is... Okay, so now, on top of crossing into Legend Maker, we are now firmly in Hold-On Phantoms. There's pretty wicked... artwork here with this Armaldo. I personally love it, but I notice Armaldo is not always the most like fan favorite Pokemon. The regular version of the card got an 8, but get this, so did the reverse foil version of the card. And here's another great example of the difference between the regular holo and the reverse holo. And as you can see, I think any reasonable person would at least admit that the reversed holo does have some really cool aspects to it. And it's funny because there's not much difference between the holo and the reverse holo other than what the reverse holo has that the holo doesn't. So just a bit of commentary there for you. Over here we have a Hold-On Phantoms Deoxys as a PSA 7. Got another one. It's interesting because it's a dark type and it's very obviously a psychic type Pokemon. So I got 2 7s out of that. I know coming up there are actually quite a few Deoxys. I think that was the speed form. This right here on screen right now is the defense form of the Pokemon. That much I know for a fact. Got another Mint 9 version of that card. Here's a card that I posted on Instagram. This is the attack and or regular form. I can't remember. But this is a pretty good looking card. I really like this one because it was a normal type or a colorless type, whatever they call it. And it also just had like a really menacing look to it. I feel like Deoxys recently especially has been kind of shown to be like a little bit of like a manic weirdo Pokemon from outer space. Like it's not like a peaceful legendary Pokemon or mythical or whatever it's called now. I feel like it's like kind of like always on the attack, and that's why Rayquaza is having none of his garbage. So interesting is the fact that there are just so many of these, and also that Deoxys is like such a menacing, scary Pokemon. So here is the last one. That is all for today, friends, but thank you again for checking out today's video. Let me know down below, what do you do with your PSA submission? So I know tons of people do different things and have like their own special tips. Some people argue, and that's kind of the advice that I took this time around, is that you order stuff by set as best you can. The reason you do that is to keep things very organized. When a PSA grader doesn't have to go through the effort of organizing your cards for you, theoretically, they should be a little bit more chill and therefore grade a little bit more in your favor. Again, these are like random things on the internet that you try. Maybe you get lucky and it works, maybe it doesn't work, who knows. And then another thing that I've heard that I have done in the past is if you take a really rough condition card and then send it in, and then you have really important cards that you want graded better, you put those in the back. So in theory, when people look at the first card, they're like, oh wow, this is a really rough condition card. They grade it low, obviously. But the entire point of that is because that first card was really bad, but as they get further into your submission, they do kind of see it. Now, technically, that shouldn't technically work because everything should be an objective, standard-based grading approach, but some people have argued that they have had success with that. So it's interesting to hear of all like the wacky little tips and tricks that people have for PSA submissions. Leave some down below if you think you have any, or if you've had any experience where like something you've done you think has kind of helped your submission and your chances of getting like additional 10s or stuff like that. There are some articles that I might cover in future videos, but TBD. In the meantime, friends, as always, hit me up if you saw anything that you like. You'll see tons of stuff on Instagram, but you can also email me or DM me, and I will try to reach back out to you as soon as possible. Other than that, thanks for checking out today's video. If you think I've earned it, feel free to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you stay up to date on all the upcoming openings and PSA returns that will be done on the channel. Other than that, friends, as always, I appreciate your viewership. Thank you for checking out today's video, and we'll talk to you real soon. Peace.